Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another one of our publisher to retailer webinars here at GTS Distribution. My name is Scott Morris. I am the Director of Business Development for Gaming, which is a really long and fancy way of saying I am the game guy. Really happy to be here with Tom Wetzel. He is our guest today from Thames and Kosmos. He is their marketing manager, which is Latin for the guy that really runs everything at the company. So feel free to ask any questions, as I always tell everyone. If you are here live, you are welcome to use the Zoom tool. You can hover over your window. There's a little chat bubble at the bottom that will allow you to send a message to either the panelists, which are myself and Tom, or you can send it to all panelists and attendees, and the other retailers will see that as well. As always, Tom, I'll manage that and kind of handle it as we go through. So I'll interject those questions as they come up. If you're watching this on YouTube and it's pre-recorded, then you're more than welcome to leave a comment below in the YouTube channel. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as we can with any kind of questions you have there. But we definitely appreciate you taking the time to join us no matter where or when you may be. With that, I don't want to steal too much thunder because Tom has some really cool things we're going to talk about. One thing I did want to mention, just so everyone knows, whether, again, you're here live or whether you're watching recorded, one of the big kind of shifts or changes that we're pushing the webinars towards this year is more quarterly updates with our biggest partners. Thames and Kosmos is one of our 10 biggest partners we work with. Obviously, a tremendous catalog of games and several extremely good lines of games inside that catalog as standalone lines. But I want to make sure everyone knows that we've had Tom on a couple times before. More than likely, we're going to have him on more as much as possible here as the quarters continue and new things come up. With as crazy as 2020 was and as crazy as 2021 is more than likely going to be, it's good to get a little bit of consistency and a little bit of stability in there. So I hope that that change will help people a lot with hearing from our publishers that are our top partners and hearing about the things that they have going on right now, things that are coming up, and then things to look forward to in the future as well. So with that, I'm going to take my lovely fancy new GTS t-shirt I got this weekend, which I can neither confirm nor deny may be anything going on with pictures there. But I'm going to take my face that was made for radio. I'm going to let it be quiet. I'm going to let Tom take over and talk about some really cool stuff. So Tom, the floor is yours, my friend.
Great, thanks, Scott. Thank you, everyone else, also for joining. I really appreciate this time because I'm excited about the stuff I'm going to share with you, and sometimes it's hard to do that in just a huge email blast. So this is great to have actual, well, close to a real interaction as we can get right now. What I have is, well, first of all, I want to apologize if you can hear some construction noise going on in the background. That is just because there's construction going on across the street. So I apologize if you can hear that. I have here a slideshow, kind of a PowerPoint presentation. And it's going to help me kind of go through what Scott was saying, a couple of games that are coming out this quarter that we're very excited about. I also have a couple just like really quick updates on some of the early games coming out. So it's kind of like a quarterly update, but it extends a little bit further than a quarter. Let's see. There we go. Great. So just as an introduction first, I've kind of left this screen here because I actually think this hasn't changed. Cosmos Games means top quality. We do have the best authors, designers, and editors in the industry. Editors are something that I think gets overlooked sometimes, and so I kind of point that out when I can because we do have some of the best editors. They make sure that our games are not only top quality components, but the gameplay that works, it's fun, and everything's like the top notch that we're always known for. Obviously, top quality materials and components, top notch customer support, and that goes for you and also the end users. If you have a problem or if one of your customers has a problem, we will bend over backwards to make sure that you get a good experience. You and your customers get a good experience. And then top brands, we're going to go over some of these today, but Exit the Game, The Crew, Legends of Andor, Lost Cities, the adventure games, just to name a few of some of the great games in our catalog. So today we're going to go over, mostly we're going to stick to the new Exit the Games that are coming out, and there's a good reason for that. But I also have, like I said, a quick snapshot of some of our early 2021 releases. But we'll start off with Exit the Games, and this is exciting. So some top selling points to kind of get you going. If you're not familiar with Exit the Game right now, you really should be. But if you are, you know that it's done phenomenally well for us and hopefully for you. It's just doing really well in the whole industry. We passed the 5 million mark actually quite a while ago last year, and that's worldwide. But we expect those sales to continue to increase in the States exponentially because the market here is just really opening up. We have like this bar graph that shows how they actually started off really strong, but they continued to grow. And last year they exploded. So a couple of reasons for that. Obviously, pandemic played a huge part in that because it's an activity you can play at home with your family and friends. Yeah, I won't get too far ahead of myself here.
That's okay. Hey, Tom, I'm going to jump in for one quick second. Joe just made a comment that he lost audio. I can still hear you. Can you still hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. If anyone else is in the chat that can type in and let us say, oh, okay. All right. He just said it's back now. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I will presume that was the construction at Tom's site messing with you, Joe. So I'm sorry about that.
It is pretty loud. So apologize again if you can hear
It's
that.
not too bad. It's a couple of beeps here and there. So, I mean, I'm surprised you didn't go outside and tell them, hey, I'm Tom Wetzel, the marketing manager from Thames and Cosmos, and I need you guys to be quiet while we do this right now.
Tried that. They said sure thing, boss.
Right. Thumbs up.
So all right, so Exit the Game, hugely successful. Very excited for what we're releasing this year, which is Exit the Game with jigsaw puzzles. Some of my later slides is going to show the components here, but it's really cool because it's not just a jigsaw puzzle with clues in it. It's actually a story with multiple jigsaw puzzles. Obviously, jigsaw puzzles are very popular right now. Escape room games that you can do at home are very popular right now. So we think, and we have Germans, the sales in Germany to kind of back us up on this, this is going to be really big. We're very excited about it. And obviously, it's a new game in a trusted series, and that's actually, I think, very important right now with so many other, things going on. It's nice to have a trusted brand, but something that's a little bit different so that you can actually bring in more sales. All right, here's the components I was telling you about. This is so cool. This is, you can see I've grouped the puzzles. They actually come in bags, and I have the game here. I was going to show you some of the components. I know that my screen is really small, so you might not be able to see it, but it comes in a bag like this. There's 4 of these bags. And each one of those bags has an 88-piece puzzle. And the puzzles, they take, I mean, honestly, I'm not very good at puzzles, so it took me about, I don't know, 30 minutes each one. Some people probably do it faster, some people do it slower. But once you figured out the puzzles, then you have a whole bunch of riddles. Some of them are embedded in the images, but there's things that I don't want to spoil. It's not just a gimmick. Like they really thought through out of the box kind of like puzzles and riddles in this. I'm really, really excited for the public to play this, and I think it's going to just be huge. So can't speak highly enough about it. It has the same kind of core mechanic as the regular Exit the Game, in that you have a decoder disc. You also have a bunch of solutions. The regular game comes with cards to give you clues and solutions. These actually have booklets per riddle. So it's kind of nice. It gives you more story, more context and things like that, and also walks you through the riddles, which in honesty, they could be a little bit harder in this for some people at first, because they're so used to the regular Exit games that this is going to be a new experience. So having that extra help walking people through the riddles is good. All right, so this is the 2 that are coming out. We have the Sacred Temple and the Deserted Lighthouse. Both of those are coming out soon, although the Sacred Temple, which is the easier one, this is going to be a 2 circle, 2 out of 5. We're expecting that one in early April, so that's very soon. The Deserted Lighthouse is a little bit harder. This one, I think we ended up settling on a 3 or 4 circle. I played both of these, and I will say that the Deserted Lighthouse is considerably harder, but it's that much more satisfying. And that one's going to come in mid-May. Both of these MSRP is $24.95, and the amount of gameplay you get for this is fantastic because this is hours potentially of fun because you have the puzzles and the riddles going on. You could leave it on your table, come back to it. I can honestly see something like this taking me, either a full night or a couple of nights because of the time involved in solving the jigsaw puzzles too.
A couple of things I wanted to interject real quick, Tom. I think it's extremely smart decision by Thames and Cosmos to have these boxes be horizontal instead of portrait. That way, from a retailer's perspective, in terms of merchandising the product, it's just visibly and aesthetically different looking than the traditional exit games that people may be used to. So if you have people who are already buying exit games, yeah, there you go. That's a great example. They're
It's
going to
the
see
same.
that and go, wow, why is this different? Right. That's going to immediately catch their eye. And then even for someone who isn't familiar with the exit title, it's going to look like part of the line, but a separate product in some form or fashion. So it will just be an eye-catching thing, which I think is a really smart thing and a really helpful thing from a retail perspective. The other thing I just wanted to interject, I'm not sure how puzzles overall have done for all the retailers we have here live or anyone who's watching. I know we have been, just from a distribution standpoint, it's been crazy for puzzles. The last 9, 10, 11 months have just been anything. It doesn't matter if it's IP related, if it's not IP related, if it's just some painting or a local artist maybe, or things like that. Things like that have been superbly popular among the retail crowd because obviously with the pandemic and people being at home, they're looking for activities to do. And that's a pretty traditional activity that most people are familiar with. So I know a lot of people have had a lot of success. And while we just kind of joked a little bit before, the call started here about, things moving around and changing in the world, vaccines are, getting pushed out. It's not ever going to move as fast as anybody would like it to, but, we have a good expectation that at least the first 6 to 9 months of this year are going to be very similar to last year. So these are hitting at just absolutely perfect timing, I think, in terms of product release, in terms of timing on the calendar and alignment with the other stuff. So all good information for retailers to know, I think.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Yeah, a good point about the boxes, and I should mention that this is actually it's double wide, right? So this will still fit if you have one of our exit the game uh, pop displays that holds either 24 or 10. This will fit in there because it's the same height. It's just twice as wide, and it's actually a little bit deeper because there's just a lot more content. But and then also the puzzles, which, like I said, there's 4 of them. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but the puzzles remain solvable after the game. So you could play the game, do all the puzzles, put it back in the box, and a later day, you may not want to come back and do the riddles because you already know them, but you can do the puzzles again. The jigsaw puzzles are something you can continue to use.
So 2 questions just came in on Facebook that are really good, and I never thought to ask you this actually. So the first one is, are the pictures on the front of the boxes the pictures of the puzzles? The second
Mm.
one is, do you know the size of the puzzles when they're completed? Are they 8.5 by 11, or do you know the actual dimensions of them when they're completed, or is that something maybe listed on the box?
Boy, I do know the size, and I can't recall, but I want to say that it is about the size of a sheet of paper, so it's around 8.5 and 11.
Okay.
And then, so I'll move back here. You can kind of see I intentionally didn't show the puzzles finished. I just did like the bundles of the puzzle pieces
Mhm.
because they are not pictured.
Okay.
So you have to figure them out on your own. But they're 88 pieces, so I feel like, and with so many edge pieces involved there, it actually they go together pretty simple, relatively.
And then are each of the 4 bags their own puzzle, or do all 4 of the bags make one big puzzle? Or can you
Each
not
of
say
the
that?
each of the bags is its own puzzle, and I'll show you this. This is clever. The back side of each of the pieces has a unique mark.
Oh,
So you could mix these all up and still put it back together.
that is very cool.
Yeah. So that one has a star. Some of them have lines. Some of them have circles. It creates 4 different pictures, and how those might interact, I'm not going to say. but it is one that you want to keep all of them out when you're playing the game. You don't want to solve it and then put it in the box and move on to the next one. You keep them all out on the table.
Cool.
All right, yeah, super excited about the exit games with jigsaw puzzles. I wish that we had like a really clever, fun name, but we wanted to do something that was clear. So we're actually calling them, as you see them displayed here, in our catalog, it'll say with jigsaw puzzles, so that there's no confusion as to what you're getting.
Yeah, and
Now
you
I'm
should
just
see that too when you search for it on the GTS website as well. It'll say with puzzles in parentheses.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to go through the next 4 games pretty quickly. These are the ones that are coming out early this year. Game releases are going to vary, but I've got those in here in the PowerPoint here. Andor, the family fantasy game. This was actually marketed as a junior game in Germany, but when we got it, we realized it's actually a little bit more complex than a junior game. The age range, I think, is appropriate. 7, I think, can definitely play this, but it has some real strategy to it. So we changed it to the family fantasy game. Andor is a very popular board game series for us, and it's a massive universe with tons of expansions and it's very successful. So this is going to build on that. It's a game that kids and adults can play and enjoy. I've played this only with other adults and really enjoyed it. It's got a really cute storyline to it. You're these young heroes trying to find these wolf cubs before the dragon attacks the castle. It's cute, but there's actual strategy to it. And it actually won the 2020 Deutsche Spielpress Kids Award. So that's also nice to get that in early for our at least kind of like validation. It's a good game. The Gate Between Worlds. This is a more traditional, slightly different Exit the game that's coming out early next year, or it's early this year. This is part of the Exit game line. This one has 8 posters. So instead of a booklet, most of them come with a booklet that kind of acts like your room. This one comes with posters, so they're a little bit bigger. And each of these posters is actually going to have, because it's a bigger picture, it's going to make playing in groups, I think, a little bit easier, my personal opinion. Also, each of these posters, because it's a poster, it has a lot more space, so there's more narrative, there's more text in this. I really like this one. It's a lot of fun. It builds on some of the other Exit games, like storyline-wise, but you don't need to play the other ones to get this. Boy, so much hype for this game. Anno 1800 coming out. This is actually part of a very successful video game franchise. If you're not familiar with it, it's hugely popular. It's this game, the board game, has actually been on the BGG hotness list. Well, I think it may have dipped off of the 50 range recently, but it has been up on there and up to the top 10 multiple times. It's just super, super hot right now. And part of the reason is, so you got the board game franchise, which is nice. It was also designed by Martin Wallace, and as we all know, there are some Martin Wallace fanatics out there that are just going to eat this up. And I've played this, so I can confirm it lives up to the hype. I really like it.
Yeah, this is one we're actually really excited about. This has been one of the fastest pre-order games for Thames and Kosmos for us, outside of the traditional Exit series, because those are still standard with a lot of retailers. If you are not familiar with this video game series, it is a very long-standing one. It's one that's been out. They've had a lot of different eras. You know, this one is set in the 1800s. They've had some that are set in space. They're very much civilization style builder type, city builder type things. We also did very well with City Skylines, which was another video game license that Thames and Cosmos came out with recently. So it looks like, a combination of having a great video game developer like Ubisoft and a good long-standing title, not just, a brand new hot flashy thing that just came out, but something that has an established player base. And then you couple all that with somebody who's one of the most well-known names in board game design, that all seems to work out really well. So we're really excited about this one.
And it's been on multiple like top 10, even like with John Gets Games, he just put out his like top 2020 games, and this was his #1 game. Unfortunately, it's not been available in English, so it's not on everyone's top 2020 list. Hopefully, it'll be on even more 2021 lists. The last one I'm going to talk about quickly is Lost Cities Roll and Write. Lost Cities hugely popular, best-selling line of Lost Cities, which includes the card game, the board game, Rivals, and now Roll and Write. This is a great family weight game. I know a lot of roll and write games have kind of got away from themselves and they become these super complex games with layers and layers of rules, which I admit I like, but sometimes I want just a really simple roll and write game, which is what I fell in love with originally, and that's what this is bringing it back to. This is a very simple, family-friendly, very accessible game. And also it's going to be a great price point, $14.95, which is fantastic. It's the same thing as like The Crew. And I think that game, part of its success was people were like, oh, I heard a good thing about this game and it's so affordable, I might as well just pick it up a copy. So I think this is going to see that same kind of reaction. People who already know the brand and then people who may have heard a good review about it. I'm really looking forward to this game too. It's great. I'm a huge roll and write fan, and I think I'm not alone there.
And another great name associated from a designer perspective with Dr. Reiner Knizia there.
Yeah. I've run out of room of things, but there's a lot of good things about this game for sure. Reiner Knizia is one of them. Should be my number one bullet point. But all right, so here's a breakdown of the 4 games that I just went over, including their release dates. We have Andor, the family fantasy game that's coming out April, Exit Gate Between Worlds May, Lost Cities Roll and Write May, and Anno 1800 May. So that's why I didn't put this as the first quarter, because these are a little bit later than the first quarter, but these are our early releases, and we're really gearing up to market these and sell them because they have, all of them, a lot of potential. One last slide.
Just real quickly, Joe just asked, what's the age range for the Lost Cities Roll and Write?
Oh, I believe the box says 10 plus. That's, I think, to be completely honest, I know I could play this with my 7-year-old nephew, no problem. What do I have it as? I don't have it listed there. Yeah, I think it does say 10, but you could definitely play much lower than that. All right, so just to conclude this little presentation, just hit on all the points that I already brought up. Exit the game with jigsaw puzzles is going to be a huge hit. It's a guarantee. It's going to be big. We're adding titles. These are all existing brands. Like Legends of Andor is a successful brand. Exit the Game is a successful brand. Lost Cities is a successful brand. We feel like that's going to be an important thing for retailers this coming year. Knowing what you're getting before you buy it is important. And then just the amount of hype for Anno 1800 has been huge. And the early releases that came from Germany, all great, fantastic reviews. So very much looking forward to that. And of course, we have a lot more coming in 2021. But that's for another show.
Actually, ironically, I just got a question on Facebook. You mentioned earlier that there were four exit games with jigsaw puzzles. Can you say anything about when the other 2 may be hitting the market?
Oh, so there's 2 right now. And then we have 3 more Exit the Games that are the standard ones, like the fun box size, not the Crew, but the same size. 3 more of those coming out this year. So 5 total Exit the Games this year, but only 2 of them are jigsaws. Next year, there should be more, but we don't have any information on those yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. Awesome. And Joe, just to let you know, I put a link into the chat. Board Game Geek has Lost Cities Roll and Write listed as 8+, which probably makes sense in terms of the components. My experience has always been that the ages are always around the child safety certification type tests, and not so much the intelligence or the adaptability of the players, but the actual how safe is it type thing. So Derek has a good question. Is anything in the exit puzzle games destroyed, or are they replayable?
So the puzzles themselves you can redo, but the games are just manipulated and destroyed. So it is a one-time use again.
Gotcha. So very similar to the existing exit games. That's things for that. So, okay. Cool.
I really wish I could tell you about some of the riddles in there because they're so clever.
I'll tell you, the last exit game that I played threw us for a loop. We played the Enchanted Forest, and we like as a group went through it, and we got to the end, and we sat there. It was me and my two sons and my soon-to-be son-in-law. And he's not much of a gamer. He's actually just getting into games. And the four of us sat down to play it, and we got to the end, and we were stumped. And we were like, "Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to use the app and get like a hint. Like we've never had to do this before, you know." And the ending kind of blew my oldest son's mind away. So the creativeness that keeps coming out of that title line is just awesome to see. I mean, we've played almost every single one that's been released, and the fact that they don't ever feel like you're doing I mean, you have the same escape kind of feel, right, as an escape room, but they're just all so different and so unique. It's just super, super fun.
I feel like they all have at least one, most of the time, many like stand up moments where you want to just stand up and just like kind of go, I can't believe it. Like, how did this happen? Like,
That happened at the end of the Enchanted Forest for us. Yeah, we're like, how did we not see that? So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So, definitely looking forward to more with the jigsaw puzzles and the posters. I think the posters are a smart little twist with that, right? As we talked about, hopefully by the end of this year, things will, shift a little bit, and people will probably be getting back together with maybe, 4, 5, 6 person or plus gaming groups. So, having larger groups, things that will appeal to larger groups at that time is going to be really good as well. So very, very good stuff. And then obviously personally, as a big video gamer, I'm very excited about Anno 1800. It's nice to see the market responding to it, but then just personally, I love that series of Anno. So it's good stuff.
it's so clever the way that they incorporated the game feel without, as you, if you've played the video game, you know there's like a million things going on at the same time, and the computer takes care of a lot of the organization. So this was a brilliant way of giving you that same feel without overcomplicating things. The earliest video I saw talking about Anno 1800 was a video by No Pun Intended, where they said they put it as a Catan kind of basement, because that's
Oh,
what
wow.
the game actually is. When you sit down and play around, you realize, oh, this is very, very simple.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to remind everybody, this is hopefully going to be the first of many more. So, as we've had Tom on several times before, I want to make sure to get into that cadence of having quarterly updates. So, we'll be able to have Tom here back in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, though, Tom, if someone wanted to reach out to you guys in Thames and Cosmos with any kind of questions, what's the best way for them to reach you guys?
Oh, I thought I put it on this screen. I didn't. Contact at thamesandcosmos.com, and I can put that in the chat if I.
You got it. And I can put that into the video as well on YouTube so people can see that too. Perfect.
How do I stop sharing my screen?
Here's the chance, guys. He might actually flip over to his production schedule. Nope, there he goes. Okay. That was the brief opportunity to see behind the curtain, right?
Yeah, well, I'm an open book. I'd share anything I've got with you guys. If I had more information on new exit games with puzzles, I would share it. Yeah, but maybe that's why they don't share it with me.
As with most things that I've learned in this industry, whenever someone asks me, like, is there going to be an expansion or is there going to be a second, game in the line or anything like that? My answer is always, if it sells well, yes, there more than likely will be something, right? So, and I'm sure with the pedigree of the exit name that there will definitely be some attention to that, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tom, thank you very much. As always, you are just succinct and to the point, and I love it. You hit on all the important things that the retailers need to know about to be successful with the product, which is greatly appreciated. And retailers, thank you very much. Really do appreciate all of you who are here live for this and taking the time to join us. Again, if you are watching recorded on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. You'll get notifications for when we have new videos going up. And then in each of our videos at the bottom, there's also a link for how you can pre-register so you can attend live as well. So you're more than welcome to join us however your schedule permits. So, but until we see you next time, thank you so much. Looking forward to diving into these as the year goes on. And we're looking forward to having you back soon, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great week in your store, retailers. Bye-bye.